Well, the Defiance girls basketball varsity program, after much trial, after much tribulation, finally found what victory tastes like last Friday night. A big win against Swanton, 66-44. Now, for their efforts, they get to welcome the juggernaut known as Lima Bath. The Wildcats enter tonight's contest at 12-5 overall, 5-1 in the Western Buckeye League. The Bulldogs hoping to pick up their second win of the season against 16 losses. Welcome aboard, everybody. The Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show is on the air. Brent Balbadon alongside Miles Holliday. How you doing this evening, sir?
Great, man. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now, seeing if the Lady Bulldogs can get back-to-back wins?
The Dog Pound. We'll wait and see if they can create a little bit of energy here this evening, but let's go ahead and break this one down from a couple different angles. Look, on paper, Lima comes in to say a heavy favorite would be a giant understatement.
Right.
But I had a chance to stop out at Defiance's practice yesterday afternoon, and Coach Leroy Lewis, in his first season, he made it clear, what do you got to lose? He goes, they don't play the games on paper. You play them on the court.
He's right.
And now that you know what you're capable of, why not make it two in a row?
Right, and it says well about where their season is going forward, because you're 0-16. How easy is it for kids to just quit when you're 0-16? But they didn't. So it speaks well what Coach Lewis is brewing here with the Lady Bulldogs. Had a little fight over top of Swanton. Go out and give it your best puncher's chance here tonight against the Wild Kittens.
Now, you beat me to it because I wrote Wildcats down. I saw Wild Kittens technically on the stat sheet that was sent. Now, do they go by Wild Kittens, or what is Wildcats acceptable?
So my good friend Mark Shine down at WOSN, he is an old Bath guy, coached boys basketball there, and he says, indeed, they call them the Wild Kittens with the girls basketball program. So the Wild Kittens, and they got some claws, that's for sure.
Fair enough. Look, back to piggybacking on your point, what we were talking about. When you are 0-16, it is tough, especially when you are talking about 16, 17, 18-year-old high school kids. It's human nature, no matter how old you are, to say, you know what, Coach, what's not working? More specifically, what do we need to do differently? When the answer quite often is nothing. Trust us. Trust the process. It's like the old Stonebreakers creed. 100 times, you don't see anything. 101, and the thing breaks. And you know it's not that one blow that does it, but it's the 100 prior to that set it up. Much the case this season for Defiance girls basketball.
Well, they say Rome wasn't built in one day. It took 1,000. Well, hopefully the Lady Bulldogs, it doesn't take 1,000 years to get the program turned around, but a big step getting a win against Swanton, and it is awfully fun to come to practice the day after a win. So enthusiasm. You got about 4 games left in the year after this one, so you're peaking at the right time, if you will. And there's some games we're looking forward for the Defiance Lady Bulldogs that they got a chance to win, but they got to give a great effort here tonight.
Well, it's one of those situations where I stopped out again at practice yesterday, and they were amped up. They were ready to get going.
Absolutely.
And he had to pull them back a little bit. He goes, hey, this is a sandwich day. He goes, we're going to run the scout. But he goes, I don't want you losing your legs today when you're going to need them for 4 full quarters tomorrow night. And Bath is more than a 2-person team, but when you take a look at the 1-2 punch of Claire Faust and Ann Oliver, my goodness, pick your poison.
Yeah, Ann Oliver, what a fantastic player. You'll see her 6 foot. She'll rebound just about everything, 12 points a game. Listen to this, too. She leads the team with assists at 72, leads the team with steals at 59, shoots a 46% from the field, 70 at the line, and if you want her to step out and bury a 3, she can at 31%. She is what you call a stat stuffer supreme.
Well, she does more than a little bit of everything, but at the same time, she would be the first to tell you she's got teammates. And this is a group, while it might be easy to sit back and watch your star or maybe your 2 stars kind of take over a game and just fill out the uniform and take place of 1 of 5 on the court, that's not what this Bath team is.
No, and it's always built off of defense, and you're going to see a point guard that will get into you, and that's Faith Clark. She is a tenacious defender.
At just 5'3".
5'3", but she will slide with the best of them, and she will pick your pocket if you're not paying attention.
This is a Bath team that also likes to ratchet up the pressure defensively. And I know yesterday in practice, Defiance worked feverishly, not just on the press, but on full court pressure. You expect that tonight.
It's a hallmark of Greg Mauk's teams, right? There's a reason why the guy's won over 800 games. He knows what he's doing. If he needs to run a box and one against a particular team, his girls will be able to do it. But traditionally, they like to run some three-quarter, half-court zone traps, some half-court traps. They will get after you, and they'll make your life very difficult.
Defense into offense
right.
makes things a lot easier on you. But at the same time, if you're Defiance, you don't want to run with Bath. And that press, if you break it, is designed to force turnovers or maybe force a bad shot. They talked about slowing it down if the original transition isn't there.
Yeah, it's a Bath team that will turn you over on average about 15 times a game. So that defense, it will wear you down, and in the second half, if you're not taking care of the basketball, it becomes a layup line in a hurry.
Well, it's one of those situations, too, where they had 17 assists in their win last weekend against Swanton, but they had 14 turnovers.
Yeah.
And Coach Lewis basically told the team, he goes, you want to win tomorrow night? He goes, you have to cut those in half. They want 8 or fewer turnovers tonight. That's a tall order.
A big thing anytime you go against zone pressure, right? Hands are always in your way. So fake pass high, bounce low, see if you can get some diagonal passes. And once you have a beat, you have the advantage in the front court. Go ahead and turn that into a layup for you.
We'll wait and see how it plays out here this evening. Like I said, had a chance to stop out of practice yesterday afternoon, watch the Bulldogs get prepared for the Wild Kittens. We're going to go in honor of Miles' vocabulary here. But at the same time, in his first season, describing what the locker room here at the Dog Pound was like on Saturday night after finally picking up their first win of the season.
I'm guessing it was excited.
Basically, he said their feet didn't touch the floor on the way into the locker room.
Them.
Look, this is a team that had its chances during about a 3 to 4 game stretch right before New Year's and then right after it. 45-41, a tough loss on the road at Maumee. A tough 35-28 loss at Wauseon just after the first of the year. And then at home in a game that they really feel they let slip away. A 46-44 loss to Van Wert. Yeah. They were close, and he simply said if we had won any one of those, if we had won 2 or 3 of those, he goes, my guess is we would have added at least 3 or 4 more wins to our total coming into this one. But they didn't, so the question is, what did you learn from it?
Yeah, close only counts in, horseshoes and hand grenades, right? So you only get the one in the left-hand column by outscoring, so you can learn lessons. And maybe sometimes when you have those tough losses, they can be a little bit fortuitous moving forward. You learn lessons that are sometimes tough lessons that help you win later. So maybe that's one of those growing pain things. But how excited they had to be after finally getting that win. That had to be a special moment. Anytime you're 0-16 and you get a win, had to feel like you just won the Super Bowl.
On the flip side, Lima Bath coming in, winners of 3 of their last 4. Their latest, a 52-15 drubbing of Fort Laramie. As we mentioned, they are 5-1 in the WBL. We're going to take a First Insurance Group timeout. We are back with more of the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. We'll hear from Coach Lewis on the other end of this. Don't you go anywhere. Tip-off about 13 minutes away. You're watching DCTV Sports. Welcome back. The Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues. It's been a little over a month since we've had the chance to sit down and call Defiance girls basketball, but I can't think of a better game to do it. They finally busted through that glass ceiling, picking up their first win of the season just a couple nights ago, home against Swanton. Right. Coach Lewis is here, and before we preview, let's review. You okay with that?
No problem, no problem.
All right, we can sit here and talk about woulda, coulda, shoulda, and this team is better than its record. But there's another phrase that also says you are what your record says you are.
True.
You have been close several times this season.
Yeah.
What was the locker room like when you finally picked up that win against Swanton?
They were just excited. I mean, just happy. I was happy for the girls. I think the girls was happy for me just to get that first win under my belt, which, I mean, just going back and forth, being excited for each other. I think we're in a good place here. That's the thing. After losing all those games early on, I think yesterday I showed them and they showed me that, hey, we're in this together, and that was the thing I appreciated the most about it.
We were talking about it before I hit the record button here, but let me ask you about it. When you're dealing with 16, 17, 18-year-olds, sometimes you can do everything right, but you don't get the W to show for it. And it's human nature, but especially with high school kids to say, Coach, what am I doing wrong? What are we doing wrong? What do we need to change? When the answer quite often is nothing. Trust us. Trust the process. Did you ever have to have that conversation with them?
We didn't. Fortunately, they believed, and they continue to believe. I mean, I think we're, 1-16 now? Is it 1-16? But even through all the 16 losses, they stayed positive, stayed with the plan, and I think the plan came to fruition when we played Swanton the other night. It was just a good team win together.
Speaking of team wins, I'm looking at your statistics here. Balance. You don't have that one 15 to 18 or 20-point score. Instead, you've got several that just kind of even it out. Obviously, Hohenberger leads the charge.
Yes.
But everybody's numbers have slowly risen over the last month. Not only is that a sign of progress, but do you like the way this team shares the basketball?
Yes, we're starting to learn how to share the basketball. Before, it was a lot of one-on-one, and we're going to create for ourselves. But I think we're having 17 assists last night. We shared the ball well. We looked like a team, and that's kind of what I'm looking for them to do. I'm looking for them to learn how to play basketball the right way, and I believe sharing the ball, moving the ball. Obviously, the ball is faster being passed and dribbling, and we did a good job of that yesterday as playing as a team.
Now, to get out and run, you got to do two things. But the first is rebound the basketball. And I'm looking at the numbers here. Rowlandson's up around 7 boards. So is Fernandez. Do you like the way this team is hitting the glass?
I do. Bella Rollinson is big for us, being 5'9", 5'10", at a guard position. With her coming in to help Fernandez down low to rebound the basketball, it just makes us a better team. I mean, Hohenberger, she's going to do her job as a point guard. Even she comes up with a few boards. She always have 4 or 5 big rebounds, and it's not so much her numbers, but it's when she gets the rebounds is usually at a big moment for us.
Let's go ahead and talk about tonight's opponent. Bath comes in, and they're hitting on all cylinders right now. 12-5, one loss in conference play. I don't want to say a two-person team, but there are two that really stir the drink, so to speak. Faust and Oliver. Break down this team as a whole for us.
They're going to be tough. Obviously, they're older, especially down in the post with the seniors. They're going to be tough. What we're going to try to do is we're going to try to limit them as much as possible and make other players make plays. I figure that's the best way to go about it. I've watched them on film a couple times, and like you say, Faust and Oliver, I mean, they're efficient. Once they get it down low, they can score the ball. They can score well. They can create contact. They both rebound really, really well. I got to get a coach credit for that. That's the way I watched a team go to the glass. That's what we aspire to be someday, where we get 5 people crashing the right way, going hard with an intent to grab the ball with 2 hands. So that's going to be a tough matchup for us tomorrow. But we got to limit what they do in the paint and then make the guards make plays tomorrow.
Who draws them defensively, at least to start?
Alex Fernandez will be on one of them, and I'll give Kendall and Cronco the other assignment to start. And it's going to be a team effort. They know we can't guard with just one person. It's going to have to be a team effort, and I think we'll be able to do that tomorrow to a certain extent.
They use their defense quite a bit for cheap baskets or easy baskets at the other end. Do you anticipate pressure?
Yes, they will. I'm pretty sure they're going to pressure. The 1-2-2 will be out in full effect tomorrow. We just got to be patient, do what we do, and break the press, get it across, and get into our offense without forcing bad shots or forcing unforced turnovers. Just got to take care of the ball. With them being a really good team, you can't be in double-digit turnovers. You got to keep your turnovers low and try to keep the game close.
Coach, appreciate you allowing me to sit in on practice. Best of luck to you.
No problem. I appreciate it. Thank you, Brent.
Coach Lewis joining us for the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. We're going to take a quick timeout. Don't go anywhere. You're watching DCTV Sports. And our thanks going out to Coach Lewis for giving us a chance for that pregame interview as the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues from the Dog Pound. We are about 7.5 minutes away from tipping this one off here this evening as the Defiance Bulldog girls finally breaking that glass ceiling and picking up their first win of the season just a few days ago against Swanton. And it wasn't like a 1-point white knuckle ride.
Yeah.
They dominated
66-44.
Sure. So we'll wait and see. There's just no comparison to finally knowing that what your hard work that's been put in actually can lead to a result. Makes the coaches seem a lot more smart in the players' eyes, doesn't it?
I guarantee you this, too. At the end of that game with about 2-3 minutes left, that lead still wasn't big enough for Coach Lewis, right? Every coach, no matter how big the lead is, you're convinced at the end of the game it's not big enough. We're going to find a way to lose this game. So good for them to finally get that buzzer off the board and get that W. It had to feel so good. And like you said, no doubt about it, didn't have to do something miraculous to get the win. He kind of coast at the end.
On the flip side, the Wildcats, or Wild Kittens, come into this one at 12-5 overall, 5-1 in the WBL. Let's get you a look at your starting lineups. They are courtesy of Baker Schindler Company. Again, Baker Schindler Company helping bring you tonight's starting lineups. Let's go ahead and give you the visitors first. For the Wild Kittens, at the point, you heard him mention her name, Faith Clark. She is a junior. She is 5'3", but she is a keg of dynamite, and she will get in your jersey defensively. Again, Clark coming into this one, shooting 30% from the field. She's averaging about a board and a half, and as far as points per game, just a couple per contest. At the off guard, it will be Izzy McDermott. McDermott, a 5'6" sophomore. McDermott on the season, averaging 6.2 points per contest. At the swing will be Gwen Faust. Faust, again, number 12. She's just a freshman, 5'6", and a forward. Again, Faust coming into this evening's contest, averaging 2.2 points per contest. Then the 1-2 punch as we get to the front court. Claire Faust, number 22, a 6'1" senior. What doesn't she do? 13 points per game. She's shooting 52 and almost 52.5% from the floor. But what impressed me even more, nearly 43% from beyond the arc. She's averaging 10.3 boards per contest. And oh yeah, as a power forward, 28 steals.
Yeah,
that's an athlete.
She's a double-double machine, Brent. And you take a look at Faust and the next young lady you're going to introduce. 6 times Faust has been the leading scorer, only to be outdone by Oliver, who has done it 7 times. So it is quite the 1-2 punch for the Wild Kittens.
That other part of that 1-2 punch is Ann Oliver, 6-foot forward. Again, she is a senior. She averages just an eyelash under 12 points per contest. She's shooting 51 and 7, basically 52% from the floor, 31.5% from beyond the arc. Field goal is a little bit of an Achilles heel for her. She's shooting just under 46%. But again, in addition to those 12 points per game, she's averaging just under 6 rebounds per contest. And oh yeah, she's averaging 3.4 steals per game and 4.2 assists per game.
Yeah, and you think being 6 foot that she's just going to be a post player only. Oh no, she will help out on the pressure if they have pressure against it. She can bring the ball up. She will face the basket. She's a complete player and plays with tremendous tenacity.
On the flip side, for head coach Leroy Lewis and his host Defiance Bulldogs, he'll send the following 5 to the court. At the point, it will be Samantha Hohenberger, again a 5'5" senior. Hohenberger coming into this evening's contest, averaging 11 points per ball game, 4 rebounds. She is the team's leading scorer. Alexa Garcia, I worked up a lather before the JV game started. She was down shooting by herself, so I went down to board for her. And after a while, I didn't want her to realize I was starting to get winded after about 10 minutes. Said, you're on your own. I got to go help the guys bring in the equipment.
It's hard to believe that you being in such top physical shape that you got winded doing that.
I know. It really will surprise a lot of people, won't it? But again, Alexa Garcia, that tells you something about her approach, about her work ethic. Again, a 5'7". I believe she is a junior, and she is averaging 9 points and 5 boards per contest. Bella Rollison will get the starting nod at the swing. Again, Rollison, situation where she knows her role. That's exactly what she's going to do. 7 points, 7 boards. That's about as steady as you can get.
Yeah, I'll be interesting to see if Rollison is going to be the one that gets the assignment of going one-on-one against Oliver to start off the game. It might be the good matchup here for Defiance.
Kendeline Krekel will get the starting nod at the power forward. Again, Krekel standing in at 5'7". She is a senior. Krekel, the best on-ball defender on this team, and I believe Coach said she was going to draw Faust to start the ball game. So that'll be an interesting matchup. Krekel again, 4 points, 4 boards per contest. And then down low, Alexandra Fernandez. Fernandez, a 5'8" sophomore. Fernandez starting to come into her own. She has earned a spot in the starting lineup over the past 3 to 4 weeks. She averages 6 points and 7 boards per contest.
Yeah, that last number you brought up, 7 rebounds, going to be really vital for the Lady Bulldogs here tonight. If it's a one-and-done fest for the Lady Kittens, the Wild Kittens, got to make sure that they don't get extra opportunities on that glass.
Those are your starting lineups, courtesy of Baker Schindler Company. What we're going to do is take one last time out. The Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports. The Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show is now in the books. The warm-ups have finished, at least for Defiance. They have huddled up around Coach Lewis. Right now, Bath still going to use the final 35 seconds to get as many shots in as possible. Our officiating crew this evening, we've got an experienced group. Bryce Bailey, Reyes Ramirez, and Jacob Botek. Again, Greg Mock, he's been around. We were trying to determine what year he started. 800 wins ago, a long time ago, Leroy Lewis in his first season at the helm.
It's a school that's only had 2 coaches ever. Gretchen Pritchard with 400 wins too, so success breeds more success at Bath.
As both teams now getting set for the playing of the national anthem. It is brought to you by the Defiance Elks Lodge 147. You can see the colors being unraveled just over center court. Defiance in their home whites with the blue lettering and numerals. And the Wild Kittens in their traveling gold uniforms with the white lettering and numerals. And as always, the Ohio High School Athletic Association having their standard sportsmanship, we want to call it pregame speech to be read. And then also made a little bit more impactful by the fact that several Defiance athletes, multiple sports, both fall, winter, and spring, actually read it on the Jumbotron here. Not a lot of facilities actually have a video board that they can do so, but this adds a little bit of class to things.
The Taj Mahal of basketball is second to none. This is such a great facility.
Now, the Dog Pound, what I think about 5-6 years old, but my goodness, it looks brand spanking new. We gave you the officials this evening. They are now being recognized. And an interesting show here. The Wild Kittens lock arms in front of their own bench in multiple rows to face the flag.
Well, you being an old Big Ten guy, roots in Iowa, you've seen Indiana with the striped pants. What do you think of the baby blue striped pants?
Just like Indiana's, except a different color. Time now for the playing of our national anthem. It is brought to you by the Defiance Elks Lodge 147. anthem in the books. Brought to you tonight by the Defiance Elks Lodge 147. We gave you the starting lineups a couple minutes ago, courtesy of Baker Schindler Company. We're getting set to get this one on here. Week off after tonight for the Bulldogs. Again, when you think about having lost games earlier, maybe due to weather, or I know they had a remake game due to the tragedy with one of the student athletes passing in Bluffton. But to be this late and getting your seedings for the postseason and to have a full week off in between games, Miles, is that a positive, is that a negative, or is that a push?
Well, everybody at this time of year got the little bumps and bruises, right? There's nobody 100% healthy at this time. So if you can have a little bit of time to rest those legs, maybe get a push for the tournament, that draw for the tournament right around the corner for Super Bowl weekend, you're going to find out your fate in the state tournament. Get rested up, get healthy. I think it can be a good thing.
Well, Defiance, again, as we mentioned, in their home whites with the blue lettering in numerals, with the blue trim around the bottom of the shorts. Lima Bath in their traveling gold uniforms with it's not truly white, it's kind of a gray swap down the sides of the jersey tops and shorts. And they've got themselves a unique pregame ritual.
Yeah, a little ring around a rosy right there.
Well, cue up Van Halen and jump. Tell you what, this takes me back to my high school days. Holy cow. This is a throwback.
Are you a David Lee Roth guy with Van Halen, or are you a Sammy Hagar guy?
The old question, Van Halen or Van Hagar? I tell you what, I like them both. I really do. Ball is in the air, and this game is underway. Quickly moving down the court, and I thought we might see some zone, and it looks like we are. 1-3-1 being employed by Defiance immediately out of the gate.
Now, going to be important that they do a great job on weak side rebounds, but more importantly, playing the passing lanes correctly.
Getting physical. Bella Rollison and Faith Clark. Pair of deuces getting after each other, and it will be Defiance basketball.
Oh, you see the Bath Wild Kittens answering, though. Going to go 2-2-1, three-quarter right here.
Which is what we thought we would see. Coach Lewis talked about it during his pregame. Two ways to break it with the dribble or going over the top, and that's what they do.
Yeah, great job going diagonal.
Rollison off the mark, but got a good look. You tell her to take that shot again, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. 8 foot and in. Go ahead and shoot it. Good rebound by Faith Clark.
Clark dishes. Oliver on the drive. Boy, that was a tough angle.
Just a little bit of glimpse of why she is so special. A little smooch off the top window.
Going over the top of it, but reversing it into the front court. Garcia worked primarily on her three-point shooting during the warm-ups. We'll see the top half of this 2-3 zone really being extended. There was a little bit of an opening, and late contact, and Krekel hits the deck.
You called it correctly. That was a big thud off the floor. We heard it all the way up here.
Claire Faust guilty of her first team foul, number 1. Garcia will inbound on the baseline. They're not really putting anybody on the ball. Oh, nice look down low. Fernandez, though, had it partially swatted away, and it looks like she stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, Oliver got a piece of that one. Maybe better serve to up fake, then go, because Oliver very present inside.
So still one basket between both teams in the early going here. Defense seems to be the order of the day. Top of the key. That is tight defense by Hohenberger. Trapping in the corner. All of a sudden, Faust is in trouble, and we have a whistle. Defiance bailed him out.
They sure did. It's unfortunate for Defiance because they had the trap set. Just got a little too handsy, and I think it's going to be Garcia.
Hohenberger actually picks up the
Hohenberger's going to pick it up. Wow. I thought Garcia was the one that hatcheted from behind, but Hohenberger gets it.
So, Lima Bath will reset their half-court offense. Clark kind of trying to sway the ball back and forth here. Check out the defense's rotation.
Yeah, I'm not sure Bath has identified exactly what Defiance is in yet.
That ball is knocked away. Good defense. Here comes Rollison, coast to coast. Swatted away. Oliver. She was beat, but used that length to swat it from behind.
Yeah, did a great job staying on the floor. Let the shooter come to you.
Blocking foul. This one's going to go against Krekel. Or is it? It is.
Bath thought it was going to be a shooting foul, but officials correctly are saying this one was on the floor.
Yep. Well, 1-3-1 is designed to extend the foul line, so take away that 15 to 17 footer. And right now, Bath is having some problems attacking it.
Had a low post up, finally found it. Back outside.
Long three is long off Kelsey Clarkson. Looks like she just checked into the game. Maybe we missed her.
Hey, great job by Holmberger, though, getting involved on the
rebound. Oh, my goodness. That is a heat check by Garcia. Long board. Kicks out. It is off of Bath. Defiance maintains possession.
Credit Defiance early in this game, though. Maybe feeding off that energy from the win against Swanton. You're feeling good. They have come out and they've established that they are going to be an intense group here.
Well, and again, a 1-3-1 is a unique. I hate the term junk defense because if you know what you're doing and you run it right, it's effective. Inside out, that's a good look, and just a little bit short by Garcia.
Don't tell Del Brown that the 1-3-1 was a junk defense, right?
Boy, that was a dangerous cross-court pass. Top of the key, taking the three. This one goes begging off the right side from Oliver. Look at this. Defiance right now, I think, is maybe just a bit in Bath's head defensively.
Rollison chased that one down, and so far holding a very good Bath offense to one and done.
Garcia open. She'll take that. Just a little bit long.
Still a good shot, though.
Yep.
Caught it in rhythm, just a little bit too strong.
Clark, about 24 feet out, surveying the defense. Again, Hohenberger running the tip of this 1-3-1. She's on the ball for the most part, unless it drops below the free throw line.
Bath got to move the ball from side to side. Get a flasher right there. Finally find it.
Oh, that's great high-low action. That's how you break it down, and that's an easy lay-in for Claire Faust.
Yeah, Faust gets it from Oliver, who leads this team with 72 assists coming in. You see why.
Hohenberger didn't go to that ball. She's lucky that it wasn't a turnover. Rollison on the drive, swatted away again. Loose ball. Boy, Defiance is getting after it.
It's already 3 blocks for Oliver on this game. She is so active on the defensive end inside.
Clark surrenders the basketball, far corner. Nice job by Garcia to get out. That's a tough drive and a nifty finger roll off the jump hook. Kelsey Carlson is now in the books.
A nice little lefty. Quick little dribble, goes fast so the defense can't get there. Very efficient.
Another open three. This time Rollison drains it, and Defiance finally cracks the scoreboard with a Premier Bank three-pointer.
A little release, rotation, and splash for Rollison. Cuts the lead in half.
6-3. Well, that three-point line is a great equalizer, isn't it?
It sure is one of the best things that's ever happened to basketball.
Izzy McDermott, high blocks, releases it, now pops to the corner. She'll dribble out. Oh, that's a tough-looking shot, and around the world it kicks out. One and done as Fernandez rebounds down low.
Yeah, another one and done, right? You said it correctly. This Defiance team doing a good job on the defensive boards.
Under 3 minutes left to go, first quarter, low-scoring game. They get it in the high blocks to Krekel, and I believe Defiance wanted a timeout. So at the 2:48 mark, we will break with them. Bath 6, Defiance 3. You're watching DCTV Sports. Well, there you get a good look at the Defiance huddle. 2:48 left to go in the first quarter. We welcome you back to the Dog Pound. Rep Albinot, Miles Halliday saying thank you for joining us. Matchup in the WBL. Bulldogs picked up their first win of the entire season over last weekend. They're now 1-16, trying to make it 2 in a row. The Wild Kittens from Bath. Yes, Wild Kittens. 12-5 overall, 5-1 in conference play. Low-scoring, defensive-oriented ball game, and that's exactly how Defiance needs this to play out if they want a shot.
Bath jumps to a man on the inbound and point-blank range. Barely missed.
Fernandez had it. That was a brilliant inbounds play drawn up by Coach Lewis. They just didn't finish. You don't get any closer than that. Dribble penetration on the wing. They'll kick it back out up top, checking to see if there's been any substitutions. I see Allison Harnischweger checking into the ball game for the Wild Kittens.
Yeah, go back on that offensive end and missed by Fernandez. If this is a Defiance team that stays in this game, they have to make those easy bunnies.
Settling for a three, McDermott off the mark. Rollison with the board, and they will slow it down. Got to get it across half court.
Now back to man for Bath. I think this might be the reason to try and speed the game up.
Yep.
Sitting in that 2-3 zone, slowed the game down.
Garcia steps back, leaves the 18-footer just a bit short. Bath with a rare fast break opportunity. They don't have the numbers, though. They didn't get the ball centered. Here's the secondary break. Nice job to Phil, cutting down by Harnischberger. Can't find the range. Muscles up in the land of the trees. Nothing doing. Tell you what, Defiance's defense is physical.
Yeah, physical, and more importantly, they're getting the rebound, holding Bath to one and done. That's why this lead is still only 3 for Bath at 6-3.
Hohenberger thinking about it. Keeping a waist-high dribble, really being dogged by Clark.
Yeah, Clark is just moving those feet.
That is a dangerous pass. Rollison cannot save it. Out of bounds. Substitution. Let's see if we can't get a number. Checking back in for Bath. Turn around, young lady. Is that 12? Both teams, well, actually, only Bath. It was Defiance's JV that wore the same colored numbers jersey with the piping around it on the outline. But Bath is wearing white numerals with the blue piping around it.
Yeah, not TV friendly, is it?
It is not,
No.
but it's sure styles, right?
Yeah, the white on yellow, when it's up close, it looks really cool. But from far away, when we're trying to call numbers, help us out, coaches. Big numbers.
6-3. It's been a while for either team. That ball almost thrown away. As checking in is Marley Mason, a 5'6" freshman guard. Just outside the arc, McDermott tries to force it down low, and that's just great defense. Nice job to drop in front by Rollison.
Yeah, it's tough to dribble against 5 defenders when they're looking at you. Bath would be better served to move the basketball with the pass from side to side.
Under a minute left to go. Long three, open look. She's got all 6 of her team's points. Bella Rollison with another Premier Bank three.
Yeah, Bella, big time is what they should call her. Big threes for Bella.
Tied at 6. Also checking into the ball game, Olivia Brenner down low for Defiance. And the young spark plug, the sophomore, Chloe Seiler. No, check that. It's number 12, Jamie Rollins. Out of bounds, off of Bath.
Yeah, how about Coach Lewis? He was up there. He was sliding on the bench, getting involved defensively. Got to love the intensity and the enthusiasm when you got a coach like that.
Bringing up the pressure. Rollison breaks it. It's one-on-one. She's going to take it all the way in. Almost banked it down. Follows her own shot. And that'll do it for the first 8 minutes. Physical ball game. Plenty of defense. And for the Bulldogs, Bella is the queen right now. 6-6. 8 minutes put back up on the clock for quarter number 2. We'll take a quick timeout. A First Insurance Group timeout. We'll have it for you when we come back. You're watching DCTV Sports. Coming out of that First Insurance Group timeout, the first 8 minutes are in the books here at the Dog Pound. 6-6, 12-5 Bath, leading 1-16 Defiance. Let's take a look at your Mark Moats Ford stat summary. Well, it's real simple for Defiance. Bella Rollison with 2 3-pointers. She has been the entire offense. However, she's played some salty defense, as has the rest of her Defiance teammates. A little more balance for the Wild Kittens. 2 from Claire Faust, 2 from Ann Oliver, and 2 from Kelsey Carlson off the bench.
Oh, you got to believe if Coach Lewis, he told him before the game, Coach after the first, it'd be 6-6. Tied up, boy, he would be ecstatic, wouldn't he?
Faust with just 2 points to her credit. Surrenders the basketball, now popping out Oliver. Dribble penetration, ball is off the shin. Loose ball, 3 white jerseys all over it. Back out up top, Oliver wants to drive. Look at the defensive rotation right now by Defiance. Down low, offensive board. Oliver trying to back her way in. She's having all kinds of problems. Up top for an open 3. Sometimes that can deflate you. You play great defense and then give up the 3, but I tell you what, if you're Defiance, you tip your cap to Bath on that one.
Allen and Oliver, 31% from behind the arc, 100% that time. Just another glimpse of how special she is for that Bath team.
Rollins, she's got good handles. The sophomore transferred into the district over the offseason. She draws the foul on Kelsey Carlson. It'll be her first team foul, number 1 here in the second quarter. The inbounds, Rollins almost lost it. Looks like Bath has switched back to that 2-3 zone.
Yeah, you better be eyes up on the offensive end. Be aware of what each team is playing. They are switching up defenses, 2-3 on the last possession for
We have
Defiance.
a turnover. Is that an illegal screen, or did she just step out of bounds? I couldn't quite tell. I'm not seeing a number being called, so.
Stepped on the line, I believe.
9-6.
Coach Lewis asking his ladies on the way down, why are we stepping out of bounds? Priceless stuff.
Situational awareness. Rollinson went for the steal, almost had it. Nice help, though, by Rollins. Ball is deflected. Bath is really having trouble with this defense on the drive, and Defiance bails him out with the foul on the floor.
I like the solution, though, for Coach Malk. When in doubt, get his Oliver facing the basket. She's going to get you in a good spot.
They will inbound from the baseline.
They're going to jump to a man look here.
Yep, switching it up, much like you were suggesting in that first quarter.
Yeah, Rollison, a good shot right there. You see, got a little gauze in the nose, nursing a nosebleed.
Clark will inbound. That might have been a little too far underneath the basket. Faust had it bounce right back to her, out of bounds. It will remain with the Wild Kittens.
Well, you just got to love Rollison's effort. Trying to save that one. Great start to this basketball game for Bella.
Inbounding from the near side, Oliver. They get it right back to her. Hohenberger comes out to identify. Carlson on the baseline drive. Boy, the help side defense for Defiance has been spectacular out of this 1-3-1.
Yeah, look at the feet moving side to side.
And we're going to have a foul. A little too handsy away from the basket. It's going to be Garcia.
Yeah.
Her first. Team foul number 2 in this quarter.
A good shot at Coach Lewis right there.
Yep. He is intense.
That's what you want, though, right?
Yes.
You don't want a guy reading the newspaper on
Boy,
the bench.
this is a heat check from Oliver. Nothing doing. And it looked like Bath settled for that shot.
Yeah, it was Brenner on the rebound. If they get big glass minutes out of her, they'll go a long way. Now, extending that 2-3 to kind of be a run and jump up top.
Yep. Hohenberger from the corner. 1 big bounce, 2 bounces just off the mark. Rare fast break opportunity for the Wildcats on the drive. Nobody picks her up. A late swat on Gwen Faust. And that's going to be a foul.
I believe Garcia's going to get
picked
whistled
up her
again.
second.
Yeah. She gets herself in trouble. She's set, right? But she set herself up way too short underneath the basket and then didn't have the patience to wait. Went up and got with a hand. Going to get to the free throw line for Bath.
First is up. First is good. Gwen Faust, a 75% free throw shooter. Sample size is small. She was 6 of 8 coming into tonight, but connects on her first.
Boy, you see why, though. How about the stroke?
Yep.
Nice rotation.
Couple of dribbles. Second is on the way. Rattles it home. So it's a 5-0 run here in the second quarter for the Wildcats. And they extend their lead to 11-6.
I need someone right in the middle, diagonal.
Hohenberger, picked up her dribble. They're in trouble, and they just do get it across the timeline.
Stay out of the corner.
Rollison on the drive, and Brenner had her back turned. I'm not sure if that was blocked into her or a pass. As getting back, Rollins, and they're going to call a charge. That is a heads-up play to get back in transition defense by Jamie Rollins.
Officials are talking it over, but I think the call is going to stay. Now Rollins shows some courage. You know how tough it is to stand there and let someone full speed run into you?
Doesn't feel good.
It does not. Rollins, though, nice courage.
Well, that's her second foul. Her being Claire Faust. And look at Rollins. Here is what she does best. Look at those handles. A gazelle in the open court. And now they'll back it out and set up their half-court offense.
I like the spacing early on this possession by Defiance.
Skip pass. Rollison on the drive. She might have had some contact on the way up. It is one and done.
Better job of handling
Rollison. That's just heads up by Hohenberger. It's one-on-one. Does she want to take her? Double clutches from 15 feet out. I thought she might go a little deeper into the lane there.
Yeah, I think it would have been better served to pull the ball back out and get a good quality look. Tough to shoot over someone.
Clark, one-handed bounce pass. Out up top.
This Defiance team kind of snacking on a little bit of danger here, down 5. Points have been a little bit of a struggle for them, but defense paying off.
Rollins with the steal. Hohenberger, oh, that was close to over and back. 3 from the other end. It is short by Rollison.
Yeah, Bath really knowing where Rollison is now, making sure that they have someone near her on a three-point attempt.
And on the drive, foul. Show of sportsmanship by Brenner to go over and help her up. And that is going to be 2. As Ann Oliver will head to the charity stripe. Oliver on the season. Good free throw shooter at 69.5%. Drains her first. Couple substitutions for Defiance. As Krekel will check back in, as will Fernandez. McDermott will take a seat on the Bath bench, being spelled by Mason. Bath has doubled up Defiance, +1. Oliver, 2 for 2 from the line. And that allows them to come in under the press.
That's the Bath team. That they do a good job of getting to the line. They've shot 55 more free throws than their opponent this year. So know how to attack the rim, gets you to the line.
Krekel wide open on the drive. That might have been partially blocked. Heads up play on the weak side by Fernandez, but a little strong off the glass. They'll kick it back out.
Yeah, good effort by Fernandez. Saves another trip.
Look at Rollins, so explosive. Got a little too deep. Krekel tried to save it, and now it's a 3-on-2 with the ball centered. Will anybody pick him up? Stopping, cutting under. Wow. Giving up the advantage, but staying aggressive, and Ann Oliver will head back to the charity stripe.
Now, Brent, I thought this is a great move by Oliver, but thought maybe it was a little extra steps on that one. Very creative with the extra pivot foot.
Foul on Hohenberger, her second. Oliver right back to the stripe, where she is now 3 for 3 on the evening. As we mentioned, just an eyelash under 70% on the season.
Now, those good shooters, they seem to get that roll to fall in. Hit the rim a couple times, goes in. You and I, that falls out. And the guy at the carnival says, give me $5 more for another shot.
I don't waste my money on those pursuits. I let my wife do it. Second is up. Second is good. She is 4 for 4 from the line, in addition to a three-pointer here in the second quarter. Couple that with a basket in the first, and she is the game's leading scorer. 9-point advantage on the drive. Hohenberger forces it up. Nice job on the offensive board. It's a little too strong from Fernandez. Staying with it. Swatted from behind. Boy, Defiance is getting opportunities right now. But, again, Miles, the ball's just not falling.
You got to love Fernandez's effort, though, right? Second time in back-to-back possessions where she gets her own miss for an offensive rebound. But you said it right, man. Got to finish.
Rollins surrenders it to Hohenberger. Popping out. And, ooh, bodies hitting the deck. You could hear Coach Lewis screaming for a timeout. Did they give it to him? Looks like they did before the contact or the turnover.
Yeah, just in time, or else it was going to be another turnover.
Well, we'll keep it here with 3:04 left to go in the first half. 15-6. This was tied 6-all at the end of the first 8 minutes. Look, you got to feel great about holding Bath to single digits right now in the second quarter, but the problem if you're Defiance is you haven't scored yet.
Yeah, how do you figure out how to dominate and win these last 3 minutes? Because if you let Bath extend this lead, it's going to be a tough second half. How you come up with points? Well, we saw earlier that Coach Lewis drew up something out of a timeout really good on an inbound play. Let's see if they can draw something up here because really got to get some points. Been stuck at 6 for a long time.
Specifically from the end of the first quarter. Bath is already out. Defiance, look at that, sprinting though, down the court. Whatever Coach Lewis drew up must have him amped up. Hohenberger will inbound on the baseline. Down screen and then the roll. Oh, that's a dangerous pass. Boy, very fortunate that didn't turn it over as Eliza Ramirez has checked into the game, number 23. I'm going to let you in on a little secret here, Miles.
I like secrets.
I am a Lizzie Ramirez fan. At practice yesterday, you talk about a kid that brought the energy. Speaking of bringing it, Hohenberger, middle of the paint, hits the teardrop, and that's the first points of any kind at the 2:41 mark for Defiance here in the second quarter.
Yeah, great job going with your leading scorer, getting her a shot. We had a drought, well, probably because she hasn't had an opportunity.
Yep. Well, that is not going to go down as a highlight reel material, but that's a heads-up play by Gwen Faust to throw the ball off of Krekel and allows Bath to maintain possession.
Back to the zone look by Defiance on the inbound here.
What are we looking at here? This is still it's a 2-3. It's a 2-3. I was waiting for the ball to drop a little lower there. Rollins went for the steal, comes up empty. Carlson surrenders it. Carlson will now pop. Look at this. They're going to post their point guard, Clark, up inside out, and that missed everything.
A great job by Defiance getting Bath to settle for a nasty shot.
Rollins keeping a waist-time dribble and just threw that ball away. And Clark will slow it down. Into the near corner. Got some congestion in the high blocks. They'll space the floor out. Good movement without the ball on the baseline. Faust can't find the range, and again, one and done. I'll tell you this, Alexa Fernandez has been a force in the post right now.
How about the spin dribble? And unfortunately, the
threw
turnover.
It away. 2-on-1. Clark's going to go all the way in. Was that ball partially blocked, or did she just get a bad look at it? It kicks out, 15-footer no good, following her shot. Second time is a charm for Izzy McDermott.
No, it's what you want to do, right? Follow your shot, nobody boxes you out. You get another easy opportunity, and Carlson delivers.
Rolison throws up a prayer. It will be out of bounds. It will remain with Defiance. Alexandra Fernandez, look at her though. She was hustling back to play D. No, hustle down. Go get set up. Post up big.
Well, you wonder, moving forward though for Defiance, scoring buckets, how are you going to do it from here? It's been a little bit of a tough road to hoe early in this game. Stuck at 8 in the first half with under a minute to go.
Lizzie Ramirez will check out in favor of Alexa Garcia. 17-8, it's still a ball game. Picking up her dribble. And the top half of this defense is coming out and in effect playing man principles. There was a little bit of a gap there. Nice drive, nice dish. Bella Rolison now with 8 of her team's 10 points.
Well, it was started by Rollins though, broke that defense down, got to the middle, they had to collapse. Great job by her seeing the vision, filling
Rollins
it up with
went
a
for
teammate.
the steal there too. Man, she is gambling on everything.
I love her quickness.
Oh, great baseline cut and in and out. Whistle sounds, and it looks like a Defiance foul. So go against Krekel, her second.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Defiance because they had the missed shot inside point-blank range. You thought it was going to go down. Get that rebound, keep this lead at about 7.
Izzy McDermott to the free throw line. McDermott, a 92% free throw shooter. That is just her second miss of the season. Oh, substitution checking in, checking out. Okay. Check that. That's number 34. That's Harshberger. Tell you what, bear with us, folks. The numbers, as Miles said, are not broadcast friendly. That's 34, not 24. My apologies.
Hey, give us those big TV numbers, will you?
No kidding. Free throw percent, that was her first attempt. So she is 0 for the season right now, and I will appropriately put those down under Harnischweger. Clark passes up the open three, and those long arms. Bella again getting a hand on the basketball.
Now, early in this game, it was one and done, right? Defiance doing a great job on the defensive glass, but here of late, second chance opportunities for Bath. They're taking advantage of it. 9.1 left. What are you going to draw up? See if you can get this a three ball, extend this to a double-digit lead.
Substitution for Bath, bounced in for Harnischweger. With 9 and 1/10 seconds left to go. They feed the post. Trying to back it down. Drop step into the paint. Low line drive. Faust can't find the range. Offensive board. Still no good. And we have come to the end of a battle of attrition, otherwise known as the first half. Bath 17. Defiance 10. We will take a First Insurance Group timeout. When we come back, it's the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. Don't you go anywhere. Both clubs heading to their respective locker rooms. Wild Kittens lead it 17-10. You're watching DCTV Sports. Welcome back at the half at the Dog Pound. Time for the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. Rip Avalon alongside Miles Holliday. Battle of attrition. And to be honest, if Defiance is going to have a shot in the second half, this is exactly how the next 16 minutes need to go. Much like the first 16, with maybe just a little bit more offense sprinkled in as Bath leads 17-10. Let's go ahead and take a look at our Mark Moats Ford stat summary. These are points only, leading all players Ann Oliver, and she had herself a tremendous second quarter. 7 of her 9 points came in the form of a three-pointer and 4 for 4 from the free throw line. After that, no other Wildcat with more than a basket. Izzy McDermott, Gwynn Faust. Here's the surprise, Claire Faust, who's averaging 13 a game, held to just 2, and then Kelsey Carlson with a deuce off the bench. On the flip side, it has been pretty much, I don't want to say a one-player performance, but Bella Rallison with 8 of her team's 10 points, including a pair of three-pointers in the first quarter. Samantha Hohenberger, the only other Bulldog in the scoring column with a basket, and that didn't come until the 2-minute, 41-second mark of the second quarter. They only scored 4 points, but yet they're still within arm's reach.
Yeah, the Bella of the ball led the scorers early, and a much better job of Bath recognizing where she's at on the floor after that, limited her opportunities from the three-point line. But you think about it, Brent, how many times did Defiance have opportunities 5 feet in that first half that let it go awry? This would be a much different game. If they're going to come back in the second half, they have to make the easy bunnies inside.
And I'm sitting here thinking off the top of my head, easily 4, maybe 5, again, off of well-run inbounds plays by Coach Lewis, drives and dishes by, in particular, Jamie Rollins, and then also just a couple of good drives and just leaving it short, and then offensive boards. Again, point-blank looks. Nothing seems to be falling right now. If you're Coach Lewis, what's your message to your team in that Defiance locker room?
You just got to keep working hard, and at some point in time, you're going to have to take chances on the perimeter because you're going to have to find a way to take defense and turn it into offense, right? Open court scoring, get them some easy baskets, because in a half-court set, it has been very tough for them to score against Bath.
On the flip side, for the Wildcats, if you're Coach Greg Mock, again, you've scored 17 points. I would be curious to know how that stacks up as far as productivity for the season prior to this. My guess is it's probably a season low, but part of the credit goes to Defiance's defense. I mean, they are very physical. They came out in that 1-3-1, which for the better part of the first 8 minutes gave Bath some problems.
Sure did.
But at the same time, that press has been responsible for a lot of their offense this season, and if you don't make it, you can't set it up.
Bath, they've made a fortune on wearing you down with that pressure, and in the second half, games become easy because they've worn you down, and next thing you know, you've turned it over a great deal. But a great job by Coach Lewis. That 1-3-1, I really think affected Bath early, kind of threw their offensive rhythm off, allowed Defiance to stay in this game a little bit longer.
How do you attack that if you are Bath in the second half?
You got to keep getting the ball to Ann Oliver in the middle of the floor. That's what their answer was. She was catching it about the free throw line elbow, and she was just dealing from there. Anytime Ann Oliver has the ball in your hands, you're solving a lot of problems defensively.
Did Bath settle for some long, in particular, I mean long three-pointers in that first half?
Yeah, think about it. During that first half, we commented on, I think they were surprised by the 1-3-1, didn't even recognize it the first couple of possessions. But Greg Malk, there's a reason why he's won 800 games. I guarantee they're going to have a different plan coming out in the second half.
3 minutes and 22 seconds before we find out what those plans might be. 17-10 at the intermission. It is the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. We'll take a quick time out. We're back with more on DCTV Sports. Back to put the finishing touches on another edition of the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. The youngins got a chance to play a little bit. Bath is out, and they already have the balls out of the rack as they are getting a quick shoot around in. About 2.5 minutes before we resume play here at the Dog Pound in Defiance. Bulldogs yet to do so. Instead, they are getting a very intense, I'm guessing, pep talk by the coaching staff. And right now, look, you've got to put your best foot forward. I'm going to guess to say, our coaches always used to say, the first 4 minutes of the second half are really going to set the tempo and really how the rest of the half will play out. And if you are Defiance, my guess is you go back, or at least you start with that 1-3-1.
Maybe go to the 1-3-1, break out the 2-3. They put a little bit of man. I like the fact that they've been changing it up, make Bath have to decipher what's going on. And You know, that adage you said, owning the first 3 minutes, Hubie Brown still uses that in the NBA every time he broadcasts, right? That's so vital, so important. And not forget, Brent, it's a shot-making game, right? So Defiance got to get some buckets early in the first 3 minutes of this half.
On the flip side, if you're Bath, you have played and you've been forced into playing probably the ugliest 16 minutes of basketball you have so far this season. Credit Defiance for that. But what do you do to establish your tempo, your dominance to open up the third quarter?
I think maybe you force the tempo. Instead of playing a 2-3 zone, let's play full court man, try to speed things up, mix in your 2-2-1. You know, Coach Mauk, he's got all kinds of defenses in his playbook. He's going to figure some things out to get the tempo up where they want it.
Well, again, I saw, I believe it was Ashley Tresher, one of the assistant coaches, also getting up and expounding a few last-minute instructions. Get a good look at both huddles there.
Expounding, I like that. Somebody's been playing in the dictionary.
Tell you what you saw right there, too, in street clothes, which is unfortunate, is Caroline McDonald, the 5'10 junior forward who injured her knee, I believe it was, earlier this season. What a difference she would make. And best wishes to her. We understand that she's going to be undergoing surgery next week and then going to go into a very hard, intensive rehabilitation. But they're expecting her to be back next season, and boy, could they use her.
Let's hope it goes well, right? A lot of times you come back a little bit stronger, a little bit better. Let's hope that's the case.
So buzzer sounds, second half is underway. Defiance has it to open up the third quarter.
2-3 still by Bath.
Oh, good feed in the high blocks, good inside, outside. Rallison, did she maybe go a little too quick on that release? It looked like that ball maybe rolled up her wrist a little bit.
Either that or Carlson got maybe a finger on it, but that, normally you don't aim for the side of the backboard, so let's give her the benefit of the doubt on that.
Over the top of some pressure.
Yeah, I like that change because Defiance, they're going to have to get some points off of that.
Trying to save it from going out of bounds, unable to do so. And Defiance, again, picking up where they left off in the first half. Just gritty, nasty defense. You know what? It's tough to get 17, 18, even 16-year-olds to buy into playing at that end of the court because it's not fancy. It doesn't make the highlight reels at 6 and 11, but this Defiance group really seems to wrap both arms around playing nasty D.
Yeah, everybody loves the score to basketball, right? Watch the NBA All-Star game coming up. It's not about defense, it's about scoring. So good point by you. You can play some defense that keeps you in games.
Hohenberger thought she had that one, and so did everybody in the gym.
Did absolutely everything, just rolled out.
Yep. There's a good feed into the low blocks. Turnaround, and that is a feathery touch.
Yeah, going through to contact is Faust. Quiet in the first half. Way to get her started early for Bath.
Now she averages 13. That's just her second basket of the night. But it's a 9-point lead, and Defiance almost turned it over there.
Now, much more activity out of this Bath defense in the second half. Coach Mauk definitely told the young ladies it's got to be with the effort. How about the hands being very active?
19-10, largest lead for either team. Bath enjoys it. Top half of this 2-3 zone really jumps out. One of the two, depending on which side is the strong side, will come out and actually put defense on the ball.
Now look how high Defiance is playing their offense.
I was going to say this almost looks like a 3-2 with the way the wings are extending.
Yeah, I'm going to start running the baseline. They tried to sneak Garcia over to the corner. You pull the defense up, so you open up some passing lanes down low.
Defiance trying to get the rotation on their perimeter passing. Check it out and see how to attack it. Bullet pass into the high blocks. It was deflected. Fernandez was there for a second. Instead, coast to coast, 3-on-1. The layup is missed. Crashing, though, and off the mark again. It remains Wild Kitten basketball.
We talked in the first half about Defiance struggling, making bunnies from 5 feet in. Well, Bath shows that they're also complicit and struggling to make layups.
Marley Mason says enough complacency. She's going to check in. We'll also have a substitution for Defiance as Olivia Brenner will check in for Fernandez. Defiance has a couple of big, strong centers.
Yeah, Brenner gave some great minutes in that first half.
Ball almost thrown away. Mason trying to set up the offense. A little bit more inside-out action here to start the second half for the Wildcats.
You got to move the ball quickly if you're Bath. It sits still way too long.
Mason, the ball is sticking. There's no question. And right now, that's gumming things up. It's also allowing Defiance to rotate and get back into position.
Yeah, look at Defiance. 5 sets of eyeballs looking right at the ball. Ball stays stationary. It's easy to play defense.
I think it's fair to say Defiance has taken Bath out of their rhythm. Bath is just so good talent-wise. They have found ways to put the ball in the basket. Spin move into the paint. Lots of contact. Wow. Claire Faust going up against Olivia Brenner.
Yeah, definitely concerted effort to get offense out of Faust to start the second half.
Hohenberger up top. Garcia, that's a heat check. A little long off the heel of the iron. Rebounded by Oliver, and Bath wants to run. Ooh, Brenner right into her, trailing the play. Clark simply isn't going to shoot. Nice crossover, rattles in and out, following her own shot. Man, this game is physical. Loose ball out up top. Clark's got it, but she's double teamed. Rips through for 3. Short. Another offensive board, and this time put down.
As Carlson dug it out. And Bath absolutely attacking the offensive glass.
Making a basket. This is where their bread is buttered on that press. There's defense into offense. Marley Mason with a chance for a three-point play.
Yeah, it's what they traditionally do, Brent. Next thing you know, you look up and it's a 15-point lead. You're like, how did that happen? Well, you turned it over and you gave them opportunities to make close shots.
That is the third foul on Alexa Garcia. As Mason tries to complete the three-point play, she does. It is a 9-0 run, Bath, to start the second half, and Coach Lewis wants a timeout. 4:08 left to go, a 30-second variety. We'll break with them. This is a First Insurance Group timeout. We're back with more on DCTV Sports. 4 minutes and 8 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. It is a 9-0 run, Bath, to open up the second half and extend what was a 7-point lead to 26-10. And guess what? Defiance is going to face full court pressure again. Long baseball pass, didn't get close, and it's stolen away by Clark. And Bath trying to keep the run going. Good ball movement around the perimeter. And now feeding the high blocks into the paint. That's just beautiful post-to-post passing.
Tremendous offensive execution, right? Station to station. Easy layup after it.
Claire Faust with 6 points in the second half. It's now an 18-point advantage. Garcia picks up her dribble. Krekel on the move. That's just good footwork by Clark. Loose ball out of bounds. It will remain with the Bulldogs. Fernandez will check back in as Brenner will check out. Likewise, Krekel will take a seat. Rollison in along with Garcia, Fernandez, and Rollins. Boy, Rollins took a shot trying to cut through a screen. Garcia backing it out. Maybe a little gun shy after missing a few, especially in that first half. Hohenberger, nice feed, nice kick back out. Hohenberger, good look. Can't buy one tonight.
Yeah, great weak side rebound by Oliver and a better outlet, and Bath on the move.
Boy, look at the quick hands of Rollins that time as she strips Mason. Not just quick feet, but just plain quick.
Yeah, easily the quickest player on the floor, and got some fashion sense too.
Yes.
I'm not sure what you call it with the one leg legging, but it looks good.
It's been out there. So the inbounds against full court pressure. Rollison gets rid of it. She finds it right back from Hohenberger. In their jersey, they got a hustle. They were flirting with 10, knocked out of bounds. It stays with Defiance.
Too many straight line passes out of Defiance. Throwing it right into the hands extended. Bounce pass, high pass, move the hands, then go ahead and make the pass. Make things difficult for Bath defensively.
Rollins, she telegraphed a bounce pass. Luckily for Defiance, that ball was kicked. Into the backcourt. And Rollins will bring it across the timeline.
Yeah, another new look by Bath.
Garcia for 3, almost banked it in. Rallison with an offensive board, and she's fouled on the way up.
A great job of Rallison hanging out at the low block. And boy, Garcia's had a couple really good looks. Bounced out on her again.
She's a streaky shooter. Miles, I can tell you, just from watching her again and boarding for in warm-ups, when she hits one or two, look out.
Well, I'm a streaky shooter too, but they're all misses.
So in other words, you're consistent, not streaky.
Yeah.
Rallison drains her first free throw, and at the 2:40 mark, first point of any kind for the Bulldogs here in the second half.
And it was effort. We're hustling and get the rebound. Got fouled by Oliver. Now, Oliver will tell you that was my 4th block. It wasn't a foul, but the officials deemed that she made some contact with the body.
Substitution, Carlson in for Bath. And now likewise, number 24, it's going to be McDermott. Well, Rallison was ready to shoot. She didn't care for the delay, and she's long on this one. Into the hands of Faust.
That little gamesmanship, coaches will do that, right? They'll bring someone in late to make you sit at the free throw line, kind of get off your rhythm, and Rallison missed the second.
Mason across half court. 17-point lead. Good penetration by Carlson, but she misses everything. Johnny on the spot. Faust with the board. She'll head to the line.
A much better second half to this basketball game by Faust. And remember, a double-double machine, 13 and 10 a game, and she has been tremendous on the offensive rebounds in the second half.
Rallison with her first, team foul number 2. Faust to the charity stripe. 64% on the season, but this one goes begging off the right side. Krekel will check in for Defiance. Garcia will catch a breather. This to make it an 18-point advantage. She can't do so.
Boy, another offensive rebound by Bath.
Tell you what, Carlson looks like she has spent some time in the weight room. Look at those arms. Strong young lady.
Yeah, that and the want to. You got to have the want to go get it, and she definitely has.
Out up top, Hohenberger being a pest. Bounce pass almost went between the wickets of Mason. Under 2 minutes left to go, third quarter. Far corner. They've got Carlson posting up in the low block. She's got Fernandez on her hip. She's picked up her dribble. Good ball reversal. Oh, look at this movement. They're picking it up now. That's an open look for 3, and nothing doing but another offensive rebound. Drop step into the paint. Faust can't find the range, and finally Defiance cleans up underneath.
Yeah, already the 5th offensive rebound in this half for Claire Faust. Defiance kind of dodged a bullet there, though.
Problem is they just haven't been able to score just 1 point so far in this quarter.
You got to get Rallison involved again. Swing it from side to side. Let her camp out in a corner.
Hohenberger will dribble out in between the circles. She'll play a little catch with Rallison. Good ball movement. Rollins, nice crossover. Lots of contact. They surrender it. Mason, 1-on-3. She doesn't care. Stops and pops and throws up a brick.
Now, great work by Fernandez, though, hustling down to corral that rebound for Defiance.
Hohenberger on the drive, hits the deck. Did she have help? Yes, she did. Mason, the guilty party. Look, if somebody would have asked Coach Lewis prior to tip-off, you're going to have the WBL leader to just 28 points with 30 seconds left to go in the third quarter. I'm guessing he would have said, yeah, we feel good about that. But the offense just has struggled tonight.
You got to give Bath a lot of credit, though. They've made sure it's been a struggle on the offensive end.
Ooh. Rollins almost with a carry, and there's Rollison with her third 3 of the night.
Yeah, Rollison likes 2. She likes 2, but as we know, she loves the 3 ball.
28-14, and Rollins with quick hands. Coast to coast. Can she score before the end of the quarter? Misses the bunny. And that'll do it for the third 8 minutes. Bath, 28. Defiance, 14. Reads more like a football score. We're back with the fourth and final quarter right after this First Insurance Group timeout. You're watching DCTV Sports. Fourth and final quarter. Last 8 minutes put up on the scoreboard clock here at the Dog Pound. Bath 28, Defiance 14. Buzzer sounds. Brett Balbinot alongside Miles Holliday. Look, this is exactly how Defiance wanted this game to play out at the defensive end of the court. Offensively, well, just 4 points in that third quarter, and they all came off the fingertips of Bella Rollison. A three-pointer with 13 seconds left. And then she hit the first points of any kind in the third quarter, a free throw at the 2:40 mark. That's just a tough road to hoe.
Oh, well, looking towards the future, though, Defiance has an opportunity to have a really good backcourt with Rollison.
And Rollins.
Yeah, Rollison's been very impressive here tonight with her perimeter game. And yeah, Rollins, I mean, who's quicker than her on the floor tonight? Absolutely nobody.
Well, you're going to get McDonald back next season. I mean, there's some key parts that will be returning. Up top, Clark she's just not going to shoot.
Oh.
Instead, nice feed down low, and that's just a tough move to split a double team.
A great job going diagonal and then reposting. And Faust, who has dominated this second half, gets another one.
Claire Faust now with 10. She had 8 points in that third quarter. So we've got the whistle sounding here. Krekel to the line. Foul will be charged to number 24, Izzy McDermott. A little bit of an unorthodox stance by Krekel at the line, but she drains it.
She can bring some rain with that shot.
She can. First points of the evening.
Doesn't just barely get over the rim. She will come straight down on it.
It brings dew down with it, but it splits the nylon. And
take her to the fair. She'll win you a bear.
Substitution for Defiance as Fernandez comes out. She has worked hard tonight. Done a good job, especially at the defensive end. What do we got here? 1-2-2? 1-2-2-1.
Yeah, the old diamond, three-quarter.
Bath, though, breaks it. Well, for a second there, Faust picked up her dribble. It was a little bit of trouble. Carlson. Nice feed down low. Faust misses the turnaround J.
A little surprised how quickly Bass shot. The clock is going to be a big fan of theirs.
Garcia got a good look. Nothing doing. Krekel tries to force it up in the land of the trees. Out of bounds off of the Wildcats.
And you see Ann Oliver again. Such a presence inside. Got her hand on another shot attempt.
The inbounds deflected, stolen away by Faust. Quick outlet. Clark wants to run. Nice job in transition defense, though, by 4 white jerseys.
Yeah, Clark wisely pulls it back out, see if they can work for a better shot, and more importantly, start to get that clock to dribble down.
Boy, Oliver sitting all alone in the low blocks. They were kind of laying off of her as Chloe Seidler has checked in. Very talented and promising underclassman. Seidler, they list her at 5'10", and I'm going to say she's the better part of that. I was joking with Coach Smith, or pardon me, Lewis. I said, look at her sneakers, too. There's some growing left in this young lady. Very good-natured young kid. Lob pass in. That's just throwing it up to your stud, but Faust leaves it short. Guess who? No longer an anonymous voice in the chorus. Kelsey Carlson has been just exceptional this evening, doing a lot of that dirty work.
Her and Faust have dominated the offensive glass and gets them another opportunity, and Faust is the beneficiary.
She's got 12 now on the night. How about that? After being held to just 2 points at the half, she's now 1 point above her average.
Yeah, Oliver carried them in the first half. Faust here in the second. What a great 1-2 punch Bath has.
They've doubled up Defiance now, 32-16, as we approach the 6-minute mark in the game. Top half of this 2-3 coming out, extending. Garcia, who has been frustrated tonight, drug her foot. And you saw the scowl on her face. She has had to work hard tonight.
Yeah, I think had she just gone up and shot it instead of the pause, she might have got away with it, but such a pregnant pause right there allowed everybody to see that foot drag.
I believe the French call that a sussure. Haven't you seen the movie Eddie and the Cruisers? Come on, man. 32-16. Under 6 left to go. Defiance will come out in that press. Hernandez is back in the ball game. Faust just kind of coolly bringing it up the court. McDermott surrenders it. Quick hands by Rallison, knocks it out of bounds.
Now, Defiance kind of caught here, though, right? If you're going to stay in a zone, there's nothing to stop Bath from just pulling the ball out and passing it back and forth with the lead. You're going to have to extend just like that. Take some chances to get possession.
Rallison with the steal. She gambled, paid off. Now you got to score. Fernandez, nice penetration, a nice dish. Garcia stopped to look at it on the drive and finally gets it to fall at the 5:13 mark, her first points of the night.
Yeah, you got to feel good for Garcia. Had a couple good looks in this game that rimmed out. Got that one a little bit closer, took advantage of it.
Well, here's that press again, paying dividends, forces an errant pass. At this point, and this is obviously Captain Obvious talking here, you need to stop every trip down the court. You need to score at the other end if you're Defiance.
Yeah, realistically, you got to get it under 10, under 4 minutes if you're going to have a shot at this one.
Fernandez aggressive on the drive, little scoop, little contact. They play on. Was that a pass to herself? Faust tried. That ball was tapped, and she was almost playing volleyball with it on the breakaway.
I thought she was going to pass it to her left and just kind of fell off her fingertips. The next thing you know, it's a turnover. A 3-on-1 break turns into a turnover.
A little cray-cray. Well, they're coming out in full court pressure themselves. Defiance breaks it. Garcia double teamed. Nice job by Hohenberger to come help her. Garcia crosses over. Stops and pops from 18. Nothing doing.
Well, how about that rebound by Faust?
Strong.
Goes up and says, this is mine.
Look at Oliver. I thought she was going to finish the break with a three-pointer. She elects the better of it. Instead goes down to post up and a fadeaway hook.
Well, that was an unorthodox
wow.
look, wasn't it? That was like a George Mikan move from the hip.
Tell you what, that's what Defiance's defense does to you, though. It takes you out of your rhythm. It makes you a little unorthodox. It frustrates you. Carlson will check in. And checking out, number 34, Harnischfeger.
Yeah, I'm not sure either coach is going to use this as a layup-making video tonight.
Hernandez, look at this. She wants to run. She's going to go coast to coast. Almost got it. Staying with it. It is physical down low. You see her pound the ball into the court.
You like the tenacity.
I love it.
Of Fernandez. I just want to see her get one of those little scoops to go in tonight. She's had so many good opportunities.
Tell you what, you tip your hat to Clark, too. The smallest player on the court went up against one of the biggest. Both teams still bringing some intensity late in this ball game. Hohenberger backing it out near half court. Oh, nice screen by Fernandez, but a good switch up top. On the drive, lots of contact. Garcia can't get the roll. Guess who? Faust again, outletting to Oliver. Point center. What you gonna do, big lady? She's gonna slow it down. And dish. If Carlson hits, give her the assist. Nothing doing. Offensive board. Faust just wanted to pad her rebounding stats.
Yeah, Faust, when she gets her hands on it, it stays with her. Another great weak side rebound.
Look at Rollins initiating the contact, and they're going to call the foul on the floor.
Oh, you just get a little bit of a glimpse of how explosive Rollins can be moving forward.
I called her Henri after practice yesterday, and she looked at me, she goes, "What's that?" And I looked over at Coach Lewis, and I said, "A good kind of trouble." And Coach said, "That's exactly what she is."
I thought you were talking about some French stuff again, Henri,
no.
like that waiter that you
Henri,
had.
yeah. Wow. If you know a French bistro in this area, you let me know, and we'll get him as a sponsor.
Oh, ho, ho.
Off the inbounds, the ball tapped. Nice job by Izzy Ramirez. Down low to Fernandez. She's going to get a shot from the free throw line.
Yeah, she has worked hard at getting rebounds. Just has not gotten one of the offensive rebounds to fall in. This time, spin move finally gets her to the line.
Foul will be charged to Harnischfeger. Her first, team foul number 3. Fernandez trying to get into the books. First free throw is up. Splits the knot on.
Yeah, yet another one of these sophomores that you can build around in this program.
She's got a bit of an unorthodox release. It's kind of a two-handed set shot. But if it falls, it falls. No rotation. This goes begging off the right side. Carlson, who has had more than a serviceable game tonight, with another rebound.
Boy, if Carlson for Bath can duplicate this performance every time out going forward, that will give them three capable people that can score on the offensive end and do a great job defensively.
Well, I say bigs, and she's been hitting the glass tonight.
Sure has.
She's very physical. Nice feed down low. And Fernandez says, "I'm here, though. Let me introduce myself."
Fernandez, great job of staying disciplined until the last second. Use that left arm to reach. Had she just stayed vertical, I think it would have been very tough for Ann Oliver to finish over top.
Well, Oliver will get a much easier look at the basket. A clear shot from 15, and she drains her first. Oliver, as we mentioned, basically a 70% free throw shooter. She's now 5 for 5 tonight.
Really good players just have that innate ability to get to the free throw line, don't they?
She's got a sweet-looking stroke. 36-19, the lead is 17 as we approach the 2-minute mark. Rollins, nice spin move, nice dish. Drive, a little unorthodox, fading away. Izzy Ramirez. Two minutes left to go. We're going to have another substitution as Angelica Sabalos getting set to check in at the scorers table for Defiance.
Yeah, Bath is just going to pull it out, force Defiance to come out and guard man-to-man.
Yep. They have no choice. And right now, Bath is in absolutely no hurry to run their offense. Into the corner. Stout looking. Carlson was posting up, nothing doing.
A classy move here by Bath.
Yeah.
Pulling the ball out. Don't want to embarrass anybody. Just work the clock, and you're going to get a timeout by Coach Mauk.
He wants to get some subs in, as does Coach Lewis, so we will take a break as well. The first insurance group timeout. Buck 23 left to go in the ball game. Bath 36, Defiance 19. You're watching DCTV Sports. Final 1 minute and 23 seconds left to go in the ball game. 36-19. Couple substitutions checking in for Bath, and these are JV kids. You got numbers, go right on ahead. And wouldn't you know it, I believe one of them scores. Or turn around, young lady. Nope, that's number 34, and that's going to be Harnischfeger. Yeah, I'm not seeing number 5 on the JV roster either. So, she will be mystery lady.
Now, sometimes when you hand out jerseys, they don't fit, and you've already typed up the roster, and the next thing you know, someone has a number that the roster doesn't have.
Well, speaking of new numbers on the roster, Chloe Seiler, the young freshman, checking in and making a nice move down low. 39-21 with under a minute now left to go in the ball game. Look at Rollins still playing aggressive on-ball defense.
Well, that's the first step to having a good program, right?
Yep.
You play extremely hard all the time.
Izzy Ramirez will always bring it. Love watching this kid's energy. 30 seconds. We'll see if Bath really wants to shoot or not. Out up top. Look at her swat at the ball. I'll tell you what, Defiance has been coached. You play until the final buzzer.
Yeah, Coach Lewis definitely doing the right things. The effort is there for the Defiance team and a lot of youth that they can build around.
Well, Mason was going to go up for a shot as she cut through the lane. And Izzy Ramirez says, I'm going to make you earn it from the charity stripe. Ramirez, very physical. She's the goalie on the soccer team. Very strong young lady. You can just, I notice when you walk out of here tonight, if you get a chance to see her, again, Miles, she's just cut. Spends a lot of time in the weight room.
And a tenacious player. Did you see her
kind
of gristle at that foul call? Didn't like it.
8 seconds, 7 seconds. Mystery player misses the rebound, and guess what? It's fitting that Izzy Ramirez pulls down the final rebound of the game. Final score. Defiance can hold their head high, but just too much talent across the board for Bath as they win it by a final of 39-21. And with it, the Wildcats now 13-5 overall. More importantly, 6-1 in the Western Buckeye League. The Bulldogs' winning streak snapped at 1 as they fall to 1-17 and 0-7 in conference play. We'll take a quick timeout, a First Insurance Group timeout. When we come back, it'll be the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center post-game show. You are watching DCTV Sports. Back at the Dog Pound, the crowd filing out. It is time for our Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center post-game show. Brent Balbinot alongside Miles Holliday. Final score, but Bath had to earn it. Make no mistake about it. If you didn't see this game and just check the box score tomorrow morning to see 39-21, you probably would have thought it was a cakewalk. It was far from it.
Yeah, 6-6 after one,
Yes.
and it was a battle. Even some doubt at halftime, but you got to credit Claire Faust in that second half. She was a monster inside, and Carlson helping her out too. Offensive rebounds converted into second chance points was what the difference was for Bath.
And on the flip side for Defiance, good shots. It's one thing to take a bad shot and say that wasn't within our offense, or maybe that's not your shot, but they got good looks. It just didn't fall this evening.
Yeah, just one of those nights where, and you wonder too if it was the Ann Oliver effect in the back of your head. She had 4 blocks, and anytime you have someone that's that good defensively, it's always in your head a little bit. But yeah, making 5-foot-and-in shots, big difference in this game if Defiance was a little more proficient at that.
Well, I would say easily 5, maybe even half a dozen buckets that fall into the category you just talked about. And if you even hit 50% of those, it's a different ball game. But ifs and buts, candy and nuts, everyday Christmas, all that good stuff that your grandparents used to say. Let's go ahead and take a look at our Mark Moats Ford stat summary. We'll start with points here this evening. And leading the charge, Claire Faust. Now, she came into this ball game averaging 13 points per contest. She had just 2 at the intermission. She finishes with 14. So she got her average in the second half. But in that first half, Ann Oliver, their stud center, had 9 points, so she kind of carried the first 16 minutes. She only scores 2 free throws late in that fourth quarter to finish with 11. But again, the 1-2 punch for the Wildcats stepped up. The only 2 players in double figures.
And Faust did it the old-fashioned way. She earned it, man. She just went and attacked the glass off of missed shots. How many putbacks did she have off of offensive rebounds? She was fantastic in the paint in that second half.
And I think also the story in that second half was Bath's press. They weren't able to get into it very often because they weren't making shots in that first half. But once they did, they paid dividends in that third quarter especially.
Yeah, hands were a little more active in that second half, weren't they?
Yes.
They were quickly moving their feet and then playing the passing lanes, anticipating the direct pass from player to player as opposed to a bounce pass or a high pass. And they had it correctly dialed up, and they had a lot of turnovers that they caused against Defiance.
For Bath, again, 2 players in double figures. Everybody else, it really wasn't even close. The next closest player, Kelsey Carlson, off the bench with 4 points. We talked about what she did, more than just a little bit of dirty work, just a great reserve. 3 points for Brittany Goodman. Check that, Allison Harnischfeger, and then a deuce apiece for Izzy McDermott and Gwyn Faust. On the flip side for the Bulldogs, leading the way, Bella Rallison. She had 2 threes in that first quarter. She had 8 at the half. She finishes with 12. As a matter of fact, she had all the scoring for the Bulldogs in the third quarter. She went 1 of 2 from the free throw line and then hit a 3, and that drought in the third quarter really spelled the difference in this ball game.
It was, and a great job by her getting things started, carry that offense early, as you correctly said, but Bath, great job of recognizing where she was at, moving forward, made it difficult for her to get another 3-ball attempt off.
Rounding out the scoring for the Bulldogs, and again, nobody else with more than a deuce. 2 points for Hohenberger, 2 points for Garcia, who was frustrated all night long, a deuce for Kendall and Krekel, and 2 for Chloe Seiler. Off the bench late, 1 of 2 free throws for Alexa Fernandez, and that rounds out the scoring for the Bulldogs. Again, final score here this evening, 39-21. We'll take another quick timeout. When we come back, more of the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. You're watching DCTV Sports. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show continues as we are back to put a bow on it. Brent Balbinot alongside Miles Holliday. One last piece of unfinished business. Time for our Steichman Automotive Player of the Game. Look, you could look at Bella Rallison. She was the only player that had more than 2 points. She was in double figures for Defiance. But Bath, despite shutting down, I don't think there's any other way to say it, she was shut down. Claire Faust, with just 2 points in the first 16 minutes worth of play, saved her best for the second half.
It sure did. Other than the one opportunity where they fed the post to her and she converted on that left-hand side of the block, she just outworked everybody and got rebounds. And, she was one of those players that when she gets 2 hands on the ball, it's going to stay with her. She is a tremendous rebounder.
Well, I made him the promise, and he's made good. Coach Lewis bringing up a player. Ms. Hohenberger, can you hear okay? Okay, bring your mic up just a little bit. Samantha Hohenberger joining us right now. Well, what a night tonight. First half versus second half. What was the difference in your opinion?
First half, I feel like we didn't come out very strong, and I feel like the second half we talked more and had more of good defense against their bigs, like down on the block.
You guys, it's not the most glamorous part of the game. It doesn't make the highlight reels. It's at 6 and 11. But you guys play strong defense. You know if you're going to have a shot at winning, you have to play strong defense. What is it about this team that wraps both arms around kind of the grittier, maybe uglier part of the game? You guys seem to enjoy it.
I don't know. I feel like we just always play like fast, and that's how it gets to that point.
Real important that you guys limit the touches inside early in this game. Was that the thought process coming out in that 1-3-1?
Talk about your 1-3-1, because it's not a standard defense. It looked like it really gave Bath some trouble in the early going. Could you tell that was the case?
Yeah, it helps with the traps like on the side if, they're dribbling down. So I don't know how to explain.
No, that's okay. Could you tell you had them frustrated? Because they seemed like for that first quarter especially that they weren't quite sure how to attack it. That's a yes, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so you guys now have a week off. So let me ask you this. Are you going to pace yourself? What are you going to be working on for the next 7 days before you suit up again?
I think working on how we can struggle. Like, not struggle. Well, we do struggle with
how you respond to maybe
the
some
defense.
challenges? Okay.
Yeah, the defense.
Okay.
How we struggle with the defense. We need more, hard practices.
Okay.
Let me ask you an easier one, okay? All right, you guys got the win over Swanton. That was a big win. What was that like? What was the feeling like in that locker room after that win?
Super excited.
Yeah.
Really happy that we did really good.
Proof that hard work pays off, right? All right. Good luck to you next week. Thanks for coming up and
Thanks
joining
for visiting
us.
with us.
Absolutely. Coach, go ahead and throw those on. All right. So let's break it down here. Much like we were kind of talking about, you came out in that 1-3-1 early.
Right.
Bath looked like they had some trouble with it.
Right.
Talk a little bit about how that first quarter went, because it was 6-6 at the end of the first 8 minutes.
Yeah, I was happy with how we came out and played 1-3-1 at the beginning. I'm just watching film. I knew they were a better man team. Obviously,
sure.
Once you seen when we went man at the end, they kind of ran their motion and got easy layups. So I knew we wanted to stay away from man as much as possible. They got a senior-led team, and they did exactly what they were supposed to do once we matched up. So we tried to go zone, mix it up, try to make them figure out where is the gap in the defense, try to make them figure out. Because once you go man, they can just kind of pick you apart with their height. So we figured man zone was the best option to go with.
You have to be excited. You have a lot of sophomores that contributed for you guys, especially Rollison. How big do you think her offensive game can develop from here?
I think our sophomores and even some of the freshmen that maybe didn't get time tonight has a big opportunity in front of them coming this summer and next year. We just kind of touched on it, and I feel like, honestly, Samantha, like I told you guys before, is the engine of what we do. Without her leading us, I don't know where we would be. Right, and it's tough with a team being 1-16, but she's done a good job of just sticking in there. Hey, I want to compete no matter what's going on.
She's hiding in the back corner there, but she's listening to the coach sing her praises. So now she comes up front, say more good things about me, Coach, right?
But that's what I like about her. I mean, she can move on to the next play, and that's kind of what basketball is about. Who's going to move on to the next play? Who's going to dwell on everything? You can't get lost in what happened before because you can't control it. And she's been doing a good job just leading the team even as a junior. So I'm expecting her to come back next year and do even more.
Are you happy with the effort at practice? I mean, a lot of times you have a tough start to a season, 0-16. People don't practice real hard. Are you happy there? Because you have to build by doing things correctly at practice first, right?
Well, if we don't practice hard, we're going to run the whole practice. So I don't have the issue of them practicing hard. They kind of know how I am. And she kind of laugh when you ask, do we practice hard? Because even when we go light, I made him do a drill yesterday, and Brent was here with us yesterday, and it can get taxing once you're in there a couple minutes trying to get 3 layups with your teammates beating you up. But that's the kind of stuff I like to do, kind of game simulated stuff. We got to get a little bit more physical and some basketball knowledge. That's what we got to get.
Now, you notice she smiled back there, but that was a smile of admission. We deserved it. We should have run. So here's the question for you, because you've got a rare full week off, correct?
Yeah.
So how do you pace yourself over the next 7 days? What's going to be your focus?
We don't call off practice. They know that. We don't have days off. We're going to practice. So if anything, if we do go light, we'll get some shooting in, especially like a week like this where we got 7 days in between.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we'll come in, don't kill their legs. We'll probably get some shooting, stretch really good before and after practice, get some shooting, get out of here, and then come back Saturday morning, kind of the same thing. And then Monday we start getting into scout, I believe.
Salina. At Salina.
I'm one game at a time, so I look at the schedule as we finish it. So we get ready for Salina, and it's a game that obviously I think we can compete in every game, but obviously watching tape on them already, scouting some of the other teams in our league, it's a game that we want to be competitive in and compete in that one also.
Coach, you made them earn it tonight. And again, the effort is there. You got a full week off.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you next Thursday.
Guys. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Congratulations. Great effort.
We are going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we're going to put a wrap on the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. You're watching DCTV Sports. And we welcome you back to put the finishing touches on another edition of the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. Brent Balbinot, Miles Holliday. Time for our Steichman Automotive Player of the Game. First things first, a big thank you going out to Coach Lewis and Samantha Hohenberger to come up and join us. It's tough after a loss, but very classy of them to do so. Look, we were talking up and down the lineup here. Several players could be picked, but at the same time, and you were talking about it during the break there, if without Claire Faust, this is a completely different game. And really, without Claire Faust for half of this game, third and fourth quarter was where she buttered her bread, and she finishes with 14 points.
Wait, you remember Defiance was doing such a great job in the first half of defensive rebounding. The second half, much different story because of the activity of Claire Faust.
So congratulations going out to Claire Faust, our Steichman Automotive Player of the Game. That's going to do it for our broadcast here this evening. Miles, appreciate you throwing on the headset, and hopefully we can do so again before the season ends.
Had a great time. I'll do it anytime. It was a lot of fun.
That's going to do it. A big thank you to our crew doing more than yeoman's work. A big thank you going out to our underwriters for helping make the broadcast possible. Folks, if you enjoy our coverage of area high school sports, please patronize those businesses. Walk through the doors and let them know how much you appreciate it. Also thanking you, the fan, for tuning in. Again, if you like what you see, sign up and log on to YouTube, correct? Subscribe, excuse me. Subscribe, sign up, do it all. Do it all and become, what do we have, a platinum level? But what Josh Bush will do will come to your home and make you a 5-course meal.
Ooh.
Maybe we can auction that off.
Don't threaten
5 courses means 5 pizzas. So that's what that means. But again, a big thank you going out to our crew as well, and you, the fan, for tuning in. I'm Brent Balbinot saying thanks for joining us. Final score again this evening. Again, Lima Bath 39, Defiance 21. You've been watching DCTV Sports.